Hi all, a great morning. This is VC from VC's Academy. In today's class, we will learn about types of leaves. So what are the different types of leaves we have and what are its modifications and all, we will go through it. And if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will get all my videos as notifications. So let's go into the concept. Types of leaves. What are the types of leaves? We can see the different types of images which I have got from the Google. There are two broad categories of leaves. So when we talk about the types of leaves, there are two broad categories of leaves. They are simple and compound. So what are the two categories of leaves? Simple leaves and compound leaves. So what are the further classifications we have in them? So the simple and compound leaves are further classified into different groups based on their shape, size, their arrangement on the stem, leaves of flowering and non-flowering plants, and various other physical attributes. So taking into consideration of various things like shape, size, and their arrangement on the stem and leaves of flowering and non-flowering plants, all these make to distinguish the leaves and categorize them into various different groups. The two different types of leaves found in a plant are simple leaf and compound leaf. So the two different types of leaves in general which we find in a plant are simple leaf and compound leaf. First we will talk about simple leaf. How to define a simple leaf? When a single lamina is connected to the main stem by a petiole, the leaf is said to be simple. So how to define a simple leaf? Single lamina is connected to the main stem by a petiole and therefore that leaf is said to be simple. A simple leaf may be incised to any depth but not down to the midrib or petiole. Example, guava leaves. So a simple leaf may be incised to any depth but not down to the midrib, which we can see in the image of the guava leaves here. Compound leaf. A compound leaf is a leaf made up of two or more leaflets. So a leaf which is made up of two or more leaflets is considered as a compound leaf. In a compound leaf, the midrib of the leaf is branched into different leaflets and is connected by a single petiole. So in a compound leaf, the midrib of the leaf is branched into different leaflets and is connected by a single petiole. For example, pea, plum, etc. So what are the examples of a compound leaf? Pea plant, palm leaves, etc. Here I took the palm. The compound leaves are further subdivided into the following types of leaves. So in this slide we are seeing about the different types or the subdivision of the compound leaves. So what are they? Generally the compound leaves are classified into palmately compound leaf and pinnately compound leaf. So what is the further classification or subdivision of the compound leaves? There are two, that is palmately compound and pinnately compound. So what is palmately compound leaf? In a palmately compound leaf, the leaflets are attached to the tip of the petiole. Example, silk cotton. So how to define a palmately compound leaf? In a palmately compound leaf, the leaflets are arranged at the tip of the petiole. Example, silk cotton. These can be differentiated into unifoliate. These type of leaves have only one leaflet. Example, citrus. And bifoliate. These leaves have two leaflets. Example, balanids. Or trifoliate. These leaves have three leaflets emerging from the same point. Oxalis. Quadrifoliate. These leaves have four leaflets arising from the same point. Marsilia. Multifoliate. This type of leaf has many leaflets arising at a common point. Example, bombax. So what are the classifications or the divisions of palmate compound leaf we have? There are 5. Unifoliate, bifoliate, trifoliate, quadrifoliate and multifoliate. So how these are differentiated. So basing upon the leaves and the leaflet, how many leaflets are arising from it, they are classified. Take unifoliate. This type of leaves have only one leaflet. Example, citrus. And next we have bifoliate. So by the name itself we can say it as it has 2 leaflets. And trifoliate, it has 3. Quadrifoliate, it has 4. And multifoliate, it has more than 4, or we can take it as 5. So these are the classifications of palmately compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf. In a pinnately compound leaf, the midrib of the leaf is divided into numerous leaflets and all connected by a common axis. In a pinnately compound leaf, if you observe the leaf, there are numerous leaflets which are connected to a common axis. Example, neem. And what is the further classification of the pinnately compound leaf? These are further differentiated into pinnate. So how to define pinnate? A compound leaf that has an axis on each side of the midrib is known as pinnate leaf. Unipinnate, the leaf with leaflets on each side of the axis, cassia. And bipinnate, here a secondary axis bearing the leaflet is produced by the central axis, acacia. Tripinnate, here a tertiary axis bearing leaflets emerges from the secondary axis, moringa. And decompound, leaf with more than 3 pinnate. Example, old leaves of coriander. Parapinnate, a leaf without a terminal leaflet. Example, cassia. Pinnately compound leaf is further divided into pinnate, unipinnate, bipinnate, tripinnate, compound pinnate and parapinnate. A compound leaf that has an axis on each side of the midrib is known as pinnate leaf. And coming to unipinnate, the leaf with leaflets on each side of the axis. Example, cassia. And coming to bipinnate, here a secondary axis bearing the leaflet is produced by the central axis. In unipinnate, there is only one axis. Here it is developed by a secondary axis. In tripinnate, a tertiary axis is present. And decompound, example, take coriander leaf, leaf with more than 3 pinnates. And parapinnate, leaf without a terminal leaflet. Coming to imparipinnate, leaf with an odd terminal leaflet. Difference between parapinnate and imparipinnate is a leaf without a terminal leaflet is parapinnate and leaf with a odd terminal leaflet is called imparipinnate compound leaf. Coming to phyllotaxy, what is meant by phyllotaxy and how to define phyllotaxy? The patterns of arrangement of leaves on the stem are called phyllotaxy and show 3 types of phyllotaxy. One is alternate, opposite and whole type of phyllotaxy. So the patterns of arrangement of leaves on the stem are called phyllotaxy and these are of 3 types: alternate, opposite and whole. When only a single leaf develops at each node alternatively, it is called alternate type of phyllotaxy. Example, China rose. When a single leaf develops at each node alternatively, it is called as alternate type of phyllotaxy. So you can see the image of alternate phyllotaxy here. When a pair of leaf develops at each node opposite to each other, it is called opposite phyllotaxy. Example, guava plant. When more than 2 leaves develop at the nodes to form a whole of leaves, it is called whole phyllotaxy. Example, Alstonia. The 3 types of phyllotaxis are given here. One is alternate phyllotaxy, second one is opposite phyllotaxy, third one is whole phyllotaxy. So how to remember alternate, opposite and whole? So if leaves develop at each node alternatively, it is called alternate phyllotaxy, and if leaves develop at each node opposite to each other, it is called opposite phyllotaxy, and if leaves develop as a whole or as a flower, it is called as whole phyllotaxy. Coming to the modifications of leaves, Leaves are specialized to perform photosynthesis. In general, when we talk about leaves, we know that leaves perform photosynthesis, or in general in our lower classes we will learn that kitchen of the plant. So what are the modifications present in the leaves? In addition to the leaves performing the role of photosynthesis, they play support, storage and defense also. So how? For each of these functions, they have been modified into different forms in order to perform support, storage of food and defense. The leaves have modified themselves. For example, tendrils of peas, spines of cacti, onion bulb, leaves of insectivorous plants are different modified leaves. So what are the examples we can talk about the modifications of leaves? Tendrils of pea, spines of cacti, onion bulb, leaves of insectivorous plants. All these are the examples for different modified leaves. And so let's have a detailed look at some of the modifications of leaves. Not only the examples which I have given, there are some detailed information given here. So we will see one by one. What are storage leaves? The xerophytic plants and plants belonging to Crassulaceae family have thick and succulent leaves that store water in their tissues. The xerophytic plants and the plants belonging to the Crassulaceae family have thick and succulent leaves that stores water in their tissues. And the parenchymatic cells of these leaves have large vacuoles which are filled with hydrophilic colloid. This modification helps the plant to resist desiccation. So what makes this plant to store water in them? These family plants have thick and succulent leaves, helps in storing water, and the parenchymatic cells of these leaves have large vacuoles which are filled with hydrophilic colloid, and this modification helps the plant to resist in desiccation. Leaf tendrils. Leaf tendrils exist in plants with weak stems. So where we can find leaf tendrils? We can find leaf tendrils in plants with weak stems. The leaves get modified into thread-like structures called tendrils. So how the leaves get modified? The leaves get modified into thread-like structures called tendrils. These tendrils climb a nearby stick or wall and provide support to the plant. So what is the main function of the leaf tendril? It gives support to the plant by sticking to the wall or stick which is given and gives support. For example, in Lathyrus aphaca, the whole leaf is modified into tendrils. The upper leaflets of Pisum sativum get modified into tendrils. We have two examples here. In Lathyrus aphaca, the whole leaf is modified into tendrils. So when they ask which is the example for whole leaf modification into tendril, it is Lathyrus, and the upper leaflets of Pisum sativa is developed into tendrils. Leaf spines. So what are leaf spines? A few plants having their leaves modified into needle-like structures are called as spines. The spines act as defensive structures. They also reduce the water loss due to transpiration. So why the leaves gets converted or modified into spines? They act as defensive structures. Not only defensive structures, but they also reduce the water loss which happens due to transpiration. For example, in Opuntia, the leaves are modified into spines. Best example here for leaf spines is Opuntia, where the leaves are modified into spines. Scale leaves. What are scale leaves? These are thin membranous structures without stalks, brownish or colorless in appearance. So, scale leaves are thin membranous structures without stalks, brownish or colorless in appearance. They protect the axillary buds present in their axil. So what they do? They mainly protect the auxiliary buds which are present in their axils. Scale leaves in onion are fleshy and thick and store food and water. When we talk about onion, the scale leaves in the onions are fleshy and thick, and these scale leaves store food and water. Casuarina and asparagus also contain scale leaves. Leaflet hooks. What are leaflet hooks? In some plants, the terminal leaflets of the leaf gets modified into hook-like structures that help them in climbing. So in some plants, if we observe, the terminal leaflets of the leaf gets modified into hook-like structures, and these hook-like structures helps the plants to climb. Example, Begonia. Leaf roots. So what are leaf roots? In few plants, one of the leaves present at the nodes get modified into adventitious roots, which helps them to float over the water surface. So we can talk, or we can say that in some aquatic plants, the leaves which are present at the nodes get modified into adventitious roots, which help them to float over the water surface. Example, Salvinia. Coming to phyllodes. What is a phyllodes? In some plants, the petiole becomes flattened, taking the shape of the leaf, and turns green in color. So the petiole in some plants become flattened, taking the shape of leaf and turns green in color. This is known as phyllodes. Example, Australian acacia. Coming to insectivorous leaves. What are insectivorous leaves? Plants require nitrogen for their development. What is the main reason why these leaves are modified? As the plants require nitrogen for their development, plants, the leaves are modified to catch and digest insects. So the plants show modification where the leaves are modified in order to catch and get digest the insects. Few of the modifications are mentioned below. So what are the modifications of insectivorous leaves? Leaf pitcher and leaf bladder. We will talk about leaf pitcher and leaf bladder. So why the insectivorous leaves got modified? In order to make sure that the nitrogen level which are required by the plants are getting sufficient by absorbing or catching and digesting the insects, the leaves show modification. This modification is nothing but insectivorous leaves, and the plants are called insectivorous plants. The two modifications are leaf pitcher and leaf bladder. So what is leaf pitcher? Leaf pitcher, best example for leaf pitcher is Nepenthes. In few plants like Nepenthes, the leaf lamina is modified into pitcher-like structure. So when the insect is digested or enters into the flap-like structure, the flap closes and this enters into the pitcher, and these get digested in the inner walls of the pitcher where it secretes digestive fluids. Leaf bladder. In some plants, the segments of the leaves are modified into bladders. These plants are found in water. Generally in some aquatic habitat, we can find plants where the segments of the leaves are modified into bladders. The inner wall is provided with digestive glands which help in digesting the trapped insects. These also will trap the insects, and the inner walls of the bladder will have digestive glands, and this helps in digesting the trapped insect. Example, Utricularia. This is about leaves and modifications of leaf. Hope you all are understanding, and if you have any doubt, please comment us so that we will get back into. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.